top 4 get inverted from qualifying. So the triple champion, Bryce Menzies, was on the pole. He will start 4th. It's Steve Barlow and Jesse Jones side by side on the front row. We're ready to go. This is Bryce Menzies. He starts alongside Patrick Clark in the 25. This may not be the top class, folks, but the racing is fierce. We've already decided the champion, but there are still minor placings to fight for. Final race of the year in Pro 2. Let's go. And Steve Barlow with that red, white, and blue truck gets away to a nice start.
A great start. These things can get a little more out of shape than Pro 4. You've only got 2-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive.
Whoa! Whoa. The 9, the Boss Snowplow Nissan gets turned around. That's a man fighting for 3rd in this championship.
Yeah, that's going to be a big blow to his championship aspirations. But up front, there's a Chad Hoy, they're getting going again. I was going to say, this class has got a lot of those young guns. And look, oh my goodness, who's that?
Oh, that's Rob McCaffrey going over the wall and on the backside of the track, and he reappears.
And he's got to go through a couple of lakes to get back on the track.
The 33 in the middle there. That's CJ Greaves, yesterday's winner. And he and Bryce Menzies, it was a pretty heated affair.
It really was. A lot of bad blood between these two guys. I talked to Bryce Menzies this morning. He said, I've got nothing to lose. I've won the championship. I'm not going to be holding back. We know CJ Greaves is going to be coming for him. If they get close, look for contact between those two.
76, the black and white car of the truck of Jesse Jones, ran a little wide. CJ Greaves able to come up the inside. Whoa! Jesse Jones got sideways in the air.
Jesse Jones going for it there in the jump before turn 1. Just barely kept it on 2 wheels.
And Fox truck was all out of shape. He maintains 3rd. Steve Barlow is back in 4th. But up front, it's the 2 guys who clashed yesterday. This is Jones.
And we heard yesterday Ricky Johnson was giving some driving advice to Jesse Jones. Looked like he got in a little bit too hot there, clipped the wall. Now look further back. Not sure who that is. Gets into the fence number 25. And then here's Rob Mack. The Mack attack just decides, well, I'm blocked. I might as well just drive over the fence. I'm not sure he even knows what's on the other side. That's a good 10 feet drop.
He came in similar fashion to Patrick Clark in the 25. And then Rob Mack kept his foot in it, climbed up over and went the long way around. Pretty graphic footage. Race leader is Bryce Menzies. Trying to go for his 7th victory this year.
That's fantastic. Listen to that V8 putting out over 900 horsepower, driving those rear tires. You know, this looks wild and crazy. It is, but it's also very precise. And where you place your truck and how you balance your truck in air and in all 3 axes, roll, pitch, and yaw is super important. So a lot of precision in terms of placement. You watch those guys go in high, use a little bit of that berm, and then drive down low to get a big run downhill to the Mount Everest jump right here. And watch these guys fly. That is just sweet.
Massive leaps. Impressive stuff on this almost 1 mile long track. And again, in the case that we see on a number of occasions, television doesn't actually do it justice, because we were fortunate to do 2 laps around the track yesterday. It is rough like you can't believe.
It is rough, and the ruts get deeper and deeper with every lap. There's huge potholes. There's blue groove, but it's not consistent blue groove. It's smoothed out, but then you see these big chunks missing out of the dirt, and it changes all the time.
As was the case in the Red Bull Pro 4x4 class, we will see a mandatory caution at the halfway mark. Looked like the rears were locked there on CJ Greaves' truck.
They were, but I think that wasn't from using the rear brakes only, because these guys have a split pedal in there. So they have one pedal that'll operate all 4 brake calipers, and then another pedal, usually off to the left, that only operates the rear, kind of like a handbrake in rally. But I think what was happening there is it's just the rear got that kicker, and so the rear tire's locked, even though the front brakes were probably active. Here's Jarrett Johnson. This is Jimmy Johnson's younger brother. Jimmy Johnson's got 2 younger brothers racing in the TORC Series, one in the lights category. And here's Jarrett Johnson.
Having a good run, the brother of the 5-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion, and of course Jimmy in his own right is an accomplished off-road racer.
He certainly was. We did a little research, also an accomplished diver and water polo player in high school. We understand the number 48 permanently retired from El Cajon High.
Yeah. He went to school there in Granite Hills. But Jarrett's doing a good run. His younger brother had a scary moment yesterday in his race in the Pro Light category, which it wasn't a great start to the weekend. But But meanwhile, Jared in the 74 is having a good run, trying to hunt down Patrick Miller, who's recovered well. And this is what happened to the youngest Johnson. This was yesterday in the Pro Light category, coming over the Red Bull start-finish jump.
And it all went wrong there for Jesse Johnson. Great to see him get out. He was okay, but, you know, for a guy that's trying to follow in his brother's footsteps, that was a really tough event in the Pro Lights category.
That there, though, was the most pleasing image. He was okay. He was able to get himself out of the truck.
And that's a great shot, Lee, where you can see how much those rear tires have to get abused through these ruts around this track. And it's really important to keep the wheels spinning, because if you slow down, the rear wheels spin enough and it hooks up, you can bicycle, you can roll these things right on the lid.
What a recovery this has been from Rob McCaffrey. Did you see McCaffrey in the background? Where did he come from?
He was completely off the track at the back of the field. He's come charging back, and they're going to get the competition yellow.
So Bryce Menzies, life is good. The man from Las Vegas, Nevada, he's already got the championship put to bed for the third consecutive year in the Red Bull truck. And he reaches that mandatory halfway caution, the red and yellow flags, saying that it's time for the field to pack up. We're going to catch our breath, and then it's time to go for it for the finals. At the restart, after the competition yellow, the three-time champion Bryce Menzies was able to skip away, but very, very worrying times for Jesse Jones in that Fox machine, who we saw have some pretty anxious moments earlier, but not as anxious as this, and a very lucky escape, Townsend.
Amazing. I mean, I'm not even sure he's still in the state of Nevada. He's so far out of the track, but great to see that he got the medical attention immediately, and he's okay.
3 laps left to run, and we rub our hands together. The reason why these two talented young men, 27-year-old Bryce Menzies and 16-year-old CJ Greaves, going at it again.
And Bryce Menzies had a nice lead before that competition yellow, but it has disappeared, and CJ Greaves is on the charge. Greaves goes to the high side. Menzies is going to square up the exit here, and Greaves is going to be right on him.
Red Bull versus Monster, Ford versus Toyota, and Menzies versus Greaves. I think we're going to be saying that for many years to come.
You can see that Menzies gets a little bit crossed up there, loses the exit speed. Here comes Greaves up the inside for Mount Everest.
CJ's got to run on the inside. Can the teenager get there? He puts his Toyota on the inside of Bryce Menzies, but Bryce doesn't want anything of it.
Menzies on the outside line using a little bit of that fluff for cushion. They're both side by side off the Red Bull jump.
Running out of time and laps. CJ Greaves, he got the win yesterday at the same time. And Menzies hooks it up.
Menzies loses a little bit of that rear slip that we were talking about earlier. Gets crossed up almost like a high side. Now Greaves has got a nice half-second gap going through the rhythm section.
Well, yesterday's move wasn't clean. These two guys clashed and crashed together as CJ Greaves climbed all over Bryce Menzies. That was very straightforward.
Menzies has got to be furious here. Greaves just got by him. He does not close enough to put a fender on him or put a door on him. And Greaves is on the charge and pulling away.
How about that? This has been a season to remember for CJ Greaves. He got the win in the Cup race, which is the combined race between Pro 2 and Pro 4x4 at the legendary Cramden race, where he beat his father, Johnny Greaves, to the checkered flag. 2013 has been an incredible year for CJ Greaves, and he is almost there for a double-header victory.
And here comes Rob Mack. You know, Menzies trying to catch Greaves, but now he's got to be careful. And you see Menzies again gets up into that loamy stuff, loses a little bit of drive coming into the rhythm section, and now Rob Mack is all over the back of him.
Rob Mack holding on to second place in this championship. There he is. And what a remarkable comeback it's been from him. Do you remember he went over the wall right there? Had to come back through the lane and play catch-up.
Rob Mack, probably the most experienced driver in this whole TORC series, and he's showing it today, fighting back from adversity, and he's on the charge now. Look at Greaves with such precision, just the right rear hanging off into the soft fluff there, getting a great drive, beautiful jump over Mount Everest. And Bryce Menzies pushing hard, but again, look at Rob Mack right there in the dust behind.
CJ Greaves, for any off-road racer, would love to have Johnny Greaves as their mentor. Imagine having him as your dad. It's back-to-back wins for the entire Greaves family. Wow. In Pro 4 and in Pro 2, Johnny Greaves cleans up the weekend in Pro 4x4, and CJ Greaves, it's a clean sweep in the